Hello friends, family and other creatures of the sea, and welcome back to another high level game. Today in the top right spawning as the red Zerg player, it's going to be Solar. And in the bottom left spawning as the blue Terran, it is Big Gabe, also known as HeroMarine of course. One of the greatest Terrans in Europe, possibly the best Terran in Europe. Maybe not in TVC, as Clam probably still has the claim to being the best there. More often than not taking out these top Zergs that HeroMarine ends up losing to. But definitely the second best Terran in Europe. His opponent is Solar, who I'd consider the third best Zerg in all of Korea. Rogue, Dark, obviously above him, but then there's Solar, and behind that I always think that DRG, Ragnarok, maybe even Armani on a good day, they all kind of compete for that fourth place. 4 to 6, I think. Would not be unfair to say. Solar very solid Zerg player, though, is looking around for proxies. Even though HeroMarine is not really a proxier. He's not someone that likes to proxy 2 barracks across the map and go for that marine rush that we often see people like Maru, Bian, Dream, Bunny. A lot of these guys do it. Spirit likes it as well, if we're in the more European context. Someone that definitely is a big fan of the proxy Rexes. Instead we see HeroMarine just opening up with a standard scout into a Reaper. It's kind of funny, the difference between the top Europeans and the top Korean Terrans when it comes to that. HeroMarine and Clam are 2 players that really thrive in a very structured early game. And Clam afterwards gets a little more chaotic. While it feels like that a lot of the Korean Terrans don't mind a more chaotic early game, either with proxies or just with slightly different, more risky openers. We see Bian often opening with a weird little marine push onto the map and then followed up by like a 2 Hellion or 3 Hellion drop. Sometimes we even see a mine drop with 6 marines. Like there's a lot of different builds that these guys use. Well, if we think of the European Terrans, we are often just kind of resigned to the triple command center openers, and that's exactly what we see HeroMarine do here as well. 3rd command center goes down in that main base as the factory is finishing up, and the follow-up, there's really 2 follow-ups that the Europeans like a lot. And the first is a quick starport into Banshees, and the other one, well, this is different actually. This might be, I'm not sure what this is, but there's no starport yet and no second gas. And the other one is a Viking lip build. But yeah, this looks like a fast second barracks. Because there's no second gas yet. The Hellions start before the starport and the second gas. It's extremely rare in these build orders. So we're gonna actually see, I think this is a 4 Hellion opener then. Would that match up? Or would it still be a 6 Hellion opener? I'm never quite sure. This could go into 3 racks, could also just stay with 2. It is quite tricky for me to predict these builds at times, what exactly is going to happen, but yeah, I think 4 Hellions feels about right here. 3rd barracks could be thrown down. Second gas still hasn't been taken here for HeroMarine, who's going to be building a large body of marines here pretty soon. We're just going to follow this up with a starport, of course, over here. And this is just your 4 Hellion 2 racks from Triple CC. It's a build that gives you a little bit of pressure on the map. Not an insane amount of pressure. I think HeroMarine lost his Reaper, by the way, which can be a bit painful. It's the only unit in the game that can heal itself without any cost, whether that be energy or something else. Well, I guess Zerg units also regenerate, but they do it a lot more slowly. Unless we're talking about the Mutalisk, of course. That unit regenerates a bit too quick, in my opinion. These cars are going to be moving towards the far right side. Go for a bit of a rotation, and he doesn't necessarily need to do a lot of damage. These cars really are just here for control of the map and making sure that if there's a big link flood, he has something to deal with it. If he can take out a tumor, of course he's going to be happy to do so, but if he doesn't, I don't think HeroMarine is going to lose much sleep over that. Solar's queen count right now is increasing to 8, I believe. Yep, 7 is already done. Double Evo chambers. We are on double gases as well. 3rd gas is being taken, and this layer should start after the 1-1 does. This is a heavy queen opener, as the Baneling Nest, of course, is being skipped. Which is not completely uncommon against triple CC openers. Does Solar have any type of info here? Did he get any info? Yes, he saw that the barracks is back on the reactor, which most of the time indicates this type of double Rex play. That means that Solar also has skipped the spore. So all the correct calls here are being made out of Solar. Now the question still is, how ready is he for this push? He has 8 queens, 17 lings and 66 drones. Insanely large drone count. However, there's not going to be any banelings with this. There's no run by setup either. Wouldn't help because there's Hellions at home here for HeroMarine. HeroMarine walked into a little bit of a supply block and now is going to try to take out as many creep tumors as he can before these queens show up. Tries to trade with one of the queens, but of course that is a futile effort, as these queens have plenty of transfuses and also enough tanking power to truly stay around for a while. More depots are being thrown down here as the armory also gets built pre-barracks 4 and 5. So actually before barracks 3 even. We have a Hellbat push as a follow-up, I think, here. Oh, this is a funky little push here that HeroMarine is going for. I already was thinking this is a quick armory, and the reason for that quick armory is becoming quite clear to me all of a sudden, as the Hellion production continued on, and we're right now at 8 Hellions, 2 more on the way. This is going to be a very powerful Hellbat push. Centrifugal hooks isn't quite done yet, and this has some real potential as these 2 medevacs are loading up into the main base. HeroMarine is forcing his opponent to split up his units right now, and if these Marines land, and they most definitely will, they will either get a lot of... Hello? Oh, he's going into the natural. I think HeroMarine doesn't realize that he hasn't been spotted yet. If he knew, he would have just dropped straight into the main base. These banelings are not going to get the connections with the Marines that they want to. These Hellbats are dishing out a lot of damage, and a bunch of these Banes get wasted on single Hellbats. This is a beautiful position, and the Baneling count is extremely low, which means that, well, honestly, this isn't going to be a great trade here for Solar. So HeroMarine gets a nice little trade. Is floating a fair amount of money, though. Of course, so is the Zerg, but for Zerg that's a little bit more common as they're waiting for the next larva cycle. I would not quite recommend it if you're a Terran player to float as much money as HeroMarine was just now. Triple barracks coming down, though, and this little drop here, well, this little drop, this large Marine force is taking out 6 more drones. Solar still on 75 workers. Complete lack of a 5th base. Creep has practically disappeared from the map when it comes to the left side. There's still some creep in the middle, but towards the far right side there is none, which makes this base extremely vulnerable to any double medevac drops, which surely are to be sent out later on in the game. Hellbats moving forward once again. No mines here for assistance. And yeah, HeroMarine needs to pick up, as the target fire on the banelings would obviously be useless here. There's just too many banelings, couldn't be targeted down, not on creep, not when they have centrifugal hooks. A lot of banelings moving in towards the natural. HeroMarine not quite ready for that though. Does have a couple of Hellions in position and splits these SCVs. Well, not quite as effective as we would have liked to see. 13 SCVs will fall. That brings the worker count down to 61. Army count, however, is looking darn healthy here for HeroMarine, who is getting into that 2-2, is getting a bunch of mines on the map right now. Do we already have that drilling claws? No, we don't. Where's the second factory, actually? Okay, second factory is at the front. Should start that drilling claws pretty rapidly the moment it finishes. You have these Marines trying to micro back into these medevacs, exactly what they will be doing. Mine in the back, kind of providing some backbone to this army. Having that backup is always so important with these mines, that you can run back to them off creep. Not only on creep, but also off creep. So the queens can't reach as easily, and the lings tend to just fall to them if they run too far. At the same time, we have a ling run by into the natural. There's only SCVs fighting with the assistance of the medevacs. As we say, that 12-13 Marines pop from these barracks, all at the same cycle. 12 workers once again go down on the side of HeroMarine though. And I think HeroMarine is in a little bit of financial struggles here, as Solar's run-bys have caused a lot of mayhem on his side. At the same time, Solar teching into lurkers, vipers, once again trying to get up that 5th base. And I think this could be a potential focal point in this game, is this 5th base here. Once again, no creep there whatsoever, makes it difficult for Solar to keep it as long as the lurkers aren't out. And so far the lurkers aren't out. This looks like a potential baneling run-by into the 3rd base later on. No sensor tower yet here for HeroMarine, makes all of these run-bys just difficult to deal with. Just going to be a ling run-by for now. At the same time, another cancel on this 5th base. as HeroMarine is kind of forcing Solar to stick to his 4 bases. That's all good and well for now, as the mining is plentiful on these bases. The natural isn't even mined out yet. The main has lost half of his patches. The 3rd and the 4th are still healthy, but soon, within the next minute or 2, that's all going to change. Not when the Fire Nation attacks, but when these mineral patches run out. And Solar will need to start aggressively looking towards options outside of these 4 bases. Whether that's this 5th base or this is a 5th base remains to be seen. Seems like Solar wants to be pushing that left side a little bit more. The Vipers are moving forward. Double parasitic bombs are being used. Awful splitting out of HeroMarine here. And is going to lose this medevac that was filled with Marines as well. There is no adaptive talents yet, and it's not being researched either. So for now it seems that the Lurkers are going to be content staying in one position at home. Adaptive talents right now just starts, 57 seconds away from finishing, and at that point I think there's potential for a push here for Solar. Tank production has started. 3 tanks are out already, 3 more on the way. We're also getting the vehicle weapons. An extra command center is being thrown down. I was gonna say command centers, but for now it's just a single one. The money has never been that high in this game for HeroMarine, and one of the reasons, of course, is the constant aggression that Solar has been putting on. 30 workers killed. That isn't cheap. Not only having to rebuild the workers, I mean, that's already a 1500 mineral loss there, which equals about 4 orbital commands. Round and about. Not exactly. No, 3 orbital commands. 3 orbital commands. Math is difficult. But also, of course, the lost mining time. We also saw the fort being delayed from landing by having a ling underneath. I don't even think it was burrowed. I don't even think burrow is research. No, it isn't. But just a ling underneath to prevent it from landing was good enough. HeroMarine is going to get pushed back here, at least for now, as the tanks are slowly but surely sieging forward. Right side is still relatively easily killable. There is a couple of lurkers there, but a bioforce definitely could... could it? Okay, maybe they couldn't. Once again, double parasitic bombs hit on these medevacs. No need to split if both of them are parabombed. As neither of these is going to fall, of course. 2 parabombs are required to take them out. With 18 HP they do survive. Lurkers are moving forward. Solar with the anticipation here, knowing what's going to happen, where they're going to land. Quite sure how he did that, but he just knows. Tanks sieging all the way far to the back. As the lurker count isn't that large, Vipers need to help out here to deal with this army. At the same time, we have an attack out of Solar here, moving on towards the right side. Big scan here could kill all of these lurkers. I think it actually will. 2 lurkers go down basically immediately here. I like this position a lot for HeroMarine. Still needs to try and get a denial on this 5th base. He's setting up his own 5th right now. And really start setting up at this watchtower. And this is such a scary position for Solar. Really for 2 reasons. One, you don't quite know what's behind the bushes and what's waiting in the line behind that. This could be 9 tanks, this could be 10 tanks, but it also could just be 4 or 5 tanks like it is in this case. So it's really difficult to engage into this. Right now Solar sees this right side army. Oh, HeroMarine! That is not quite the fight you want to be taking. This also isn't the fight you want to be taking. That makes 2 terrible trades in less than 5 seconds. At the same time, Solar has managed to blast through this, realizing that a large portion of the army is on the right side. Feels like HeroMarine revealed his hand a bit too much, and he wasn't capable of really dealing that fatal blow to Solar's far right side. Now Solar is in a position of power here, starts taking out tanks. The tank count is at 0 currently. Liberators are trying to be boosted out. This medevac is, well, forcing a couple of links to stay home, well, a large amount of links to stay home. And that is extremely important right now, because HeroMarine is not in a position to go for any big defensive moves. Nidus network is on the way here as well. That could allow Solar's units to enter the main base of his opponent. That would be a huge deal. That could be potentially game ending, as a 7th base now is being taken for Solar, and where before he was struggling getting a 5th, now he seems pretty free in taking any base he likes. At the same time, having complete map control, that stroke of creep in the middle, still providing a lot of value for the Korean Zerg as well. And with both of the Vipers alive, I do believe that Solar is in a position where he can use some of his momentum, either to try and get something done in the main base, or really just to try to take out that left side planetary. Now of course HeroMarine is in position, and with the sensor towers and with endless scanning should be capable of taking a decent trade. But here he is slightly caught out of position. Not a single tank here for assistance. Mines are trying to burrow forward. Blinding clouds were cast. Not doing a whole lot though. This needs to be forced to lift as the lurkers burrow and immediately start going to work on that command center. The depots accompanying it, as well as the sensor tower. And now I think this 5th base is toast as well. This 5th base does not have the luxury of lifting as the banelings roll into it. All of these SCVs are gonna get taken out, and I think that HeroMarine is in a world of trouble here. Lots of snipes going down, but the ghosts are going down faster than the lurkers do. GG gets called, and Solar wins this game here. A big back and forth, but once that 5th base was up and Solar got control of the game, he just looked absolutely supreme. Reigned supreme. GG gets called. That's going to be it for me today. Thanks all so much for watching. If you did enjoy, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and hopefully I'll see all of you next time for a new video. Bye bye.